So, welcome everybody. Welcome as you are coming into this wonderful, magnificent, and blacknificent call this evening. I just want to welcome you into the room. My name is Natalie Stokes Peters, and I have been working with Black Classic Press and Paul Coates for probably close to 23 years. I have known Dr. Mwangaza Bandele for probably 15 or something of those years. And so it's going to be a pleasure to be with both of them. I believe you all are going to enjoy seeing what is going on in this Black Self-Love webinar tonight. Okay. So let me just set a couple things. Everyone's going to be on mute. And we're asking that no one come off of mute. I believe that it's set that way. Part of the rules are that if you want to ask a question, you need to raise your hand and then we will call on you. This is going to be interactive at times, so folks will have an opportunity to interact with I keep want to call I'm just gonna call her Wangaza, okay? Because that's how I know her. So I'm just gonna call her Wangaza. You have the opportunity to do that. There will be a couple of things going on during this call. There will be polls to to interact with and respond to. There will be chat questions, and so I just ask you all to please participate. The way to get the most out of this call is to participate and interact. It's gonna be good. So with that, we are starting up now. I think we got some folks in the room. We're going to start now, and those people who didn't get here on time, boy, they missed some already. So let me bring in. I'm going to introduce. Normally, Wangaza is sort of weird because this is Wangaza's call tonight, but she also always sets the tone for the room. So I am going to bring in Wangaza to really clear the space and make it one that we are let me see, where is she at over here? Let me get her on here. All right. All right. Dr. Wangaza Michael-Bandele, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Natalie. As always, it's just a pleasure to have this opportunity to gather with my people, to gather with Black Classic Press, for all of the wonderful events that you guys do. And I am especially honored to have the opportunity to just presence the spirit that brings us all together, to give thanks. And so I'll do that following many of our traditions, African traditions in this moment. And so I'm going to ask each of us to lend your spirit as we stand and we honor the traditions of our ancestors. We're going to call on great God Almighty, known by many names, called in many languages. We call you in our ancestral tongue in this moment. And so, Odumanka Matredi Apon Yakapon Kwame, we thank you for this day. And in this virtual circle where we're connected, we give thanks for each heartbeat, each breath taken, for your allowance that we are alive and animated by a life-giving spirit that clearly brought us here together. Great deities, great Bosum, Orishas, great angelic and natural forces, we extend to you this, what we're going to call a virtual libation, pouring not of water or of liquids in this moment, but from our hearts, just pouring. We send you a pure stream of loving gratitude flowing from the center of our being. We are grateful to our greater souls, our greater bulls, and so many other guardians, known and unknown, that guide and protect our people. We do say thank you. And to our ancestors, oh, those who have walked before us, those who have cleared our pathways, those who you all know, whose genius has guided us, whose courage has protected us, whose lives taught us right from wrong. Now, I want you to help me call their names, your people, your people's people. You know, those mamas and those dads and papas and grandmamas, aunties, all them people. You know, the folks back up at the house, the neighbors, the cousins, everybody. Call their names, those who have passed on. Whisper their names to yourself. Write their names in the chat at this moment and remember them. We are grateful for them and for every lesson that they taught us, for every skill that was passed on. for that good old common sense that they gave us. For every time you ancestors stood up, for every time you spoke up, and for every time that you fought for us, we thank you. We gonna thank you for every potato pie, because we know it was love back just all up in that potato pie. For every good night kiss that gave us our sanity, that gave us our humanity. For every tear that you cried and every prayer, for all the prayers you whispered over us, and all the love that you poured into us. The love, your love, that which has bound us to ourselves and each other for hundreds and thousands of years. We say thank you, especially tonight, for the love. And this evening, as we celebrate and magnify that love, that self love, we give thanks for your presence, knowing and acknowledging the ancestral spirit that is among us, because we've invited us, that our circle is now complete. And we say Amen, Ashe, Medasipa.
As always, thank you so much. Now, y'all know that sets the pace. Y'all can't act a fool now. After we just had that. That was probably for me as much as for anybody else. So listen, all right, thank you again, Mwangaza. And if nothing else, y'all, did you hear that? That's what's coming tonight. So, but before I go on, I want to bring in, I want to introduce and bring in Paul Coates. And I don't know if everyone, I'm seeing an image on my screen and I want that to come down. And I don't know if it's just me or if it's everyone, but I like that down. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, I'm going to bring in Paul Coates to the room and I'm going to introduce him to everyone. So, everyone, this is Paul Coates. And there's many ways to introduce someone, but I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to pull out some adjectives for who I see Paul as, and not so much as the things he's done, because those are just things that we do, right? That it informs us to who someone is, but it doesn't tell you who they are. So here we go. Activist, father, husband, brother, bibliophile, and lover of his community. This is Paul Coates. Okay. Paul, now here's a to-do. In the spirit of all of that, in the spirit of all that, Paul founded Black Classic Press 1978, right? And all of those things show up in what it is that he does today with Black Classic Press. As part of that, he's a groundbreaker. When I say that, there are few publishing companies at all who own their own printing company. White, black, whatever colors you want to use, that he's one of the few. And that's groundbreaking, y'all. That's not basic. That's not, oh yeah, well, somebody gave him an award, or yeah, he did this and donated some money or whatever else it is. It sounds like, no, this is different stuff. This is another level. So with that, I'm going to bring in Paul Coates. You can see him on the screen. And we also he's going to introduce Mwangaza to you all.
Natalie, thank you. Thank you so much. That introduction was a great introduction. You did a great job. I even feel better. I like Paul Coates, okay? Look, Wangaza, let me just thank you for clearing the space this evening. You have we've been doing these since, I guess, the pandemic. Almost all of them, you have cleared the space and brought forth the energy, the presence that we need to get through these. This is a different call, because this call is going to focus on you, and you cleared the space that really made it, just helped me feel comfortable in this space that I helped create. I was saying, wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much. What I love and have always loved about working with Wangaza is the spirit that she manifests and the spirit that she brings in all around. And that's what we witnessed just a few minutes ago. I want to welcome everyone, as Natalie has done. I want to welcome you myself and thank you for being present for this call, which I consider to be one of the more important and one of the special calls, one of the most special calls that we've ever done. It's a little bit different because most of the calls that we do really have to deal with books. This is a call that deals with being. This is a call that deals with being how we are in the world and who we be in the world. And I don't know many folks that I would call on to deliver and guide us through this call better than Wangaza, that could do it better than Wangaza and live in the space of Wangaza. We're talking about living, raising our families, raising ourselves, raising our consciousness in a place of self-love. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And Wangaza is going to open it up. When we sent out the invitation, I said, I don't know about you, but I thought I knew what Black self-love was. And when Gaza used to talk to me about it, I thought I knew what it was. But when Gaza really has dug deeper, so I'm encouraging everyone on the call to be prepared to go deeper. And we're not going to have a hard conversation. These things that when Gaza is going to cover tonight, I'm sure is going to resonate with most of us. It's just that she's got the right chemistry in the right bowl for the right delivery so that we can leave here higher than what we came on this call, at least most of us. Wangaza, in terms of introducing Wangaza, what I will do when Gaza occupies so many spaces, she's an educator. She is actually a doctor as well. And I've known her long enough that I witness all of the progression through school and especially the hard fight that this mother did and long fight that she did for her doctorate degree. But she's not a person that's trapped in that degree. That degree does not define one Gaza. It's like what Doc Ben used to say, like you need these degrees so that you can access certain things. Wangaza brings learning into the space. And so she already had a lot of this stuff together when she went for her doctorate and she became a doctor. The person that we're dealing with tonight has that as a title, but really, I look at her as a Black mother spirit, someone who brings love and comfort and nourishment to our community. And I think that's the discussion that we're going to have inside of the whole discussion that we're going to have inside of talking about Black love. So, look, and this is going to be different also. Let me do this also. Much of what's going to happen tonight is going to be Wangaza. I'm going to ask Wangaza a few questions to open up the floor, but then I'm going to turn it over to her. She's going to take us through a demo and a discussion of Black self-love. So, Wangaza, again, let me welcome you and let me thank you so much for being here and bringing with you the tools that we need to go deeper into this whole discussion, this whole living of Black self-love. Wangaza, did I get most of what we're going to talk about at least partially right? Did I get enough of it in there that
Of
we can
course.
have this discussion?
Thank you, firstly, for the invitation and for creating the space and the welcome for me to be here and for all of us to be here. Thank you so very much to you and to Black Classic Press and all of your wonderful team members. Truly
Mm.
appreciate it. And yes, you've set this up perfectly.
Good, good, good.
Perfectly. Because you know how we dance. You know
That's
how
it.
we dance. We get
That's it.
oh, we go. There's yes, no box to be fit into. It's just for us to deliver
Mhm.
what it is to deliver.
So, Wangaza, I've known you certainly as an educator, teacher, mother, community builder, but I also have known you through this process of your exploration of Black self-love. As a starter, can you can you talk about what led you to focus in this area? What led you to distinguish Black self-love from self-love or from Black love or love of self? What is it about this whole world of Black self-love that you're in, and why are you focused on it?
Well, since I was pretty young, like teenager, like I came up through the civil rights and the Black Power era. And so there were so many examples of what I now know as Black self-love all around me. Just like Black folks fighting for what was right, what was ours, what we earned, what we deserved, getting foots off our necks. Those are all expressions of Black self-love because you're taking care of what you value. And so I like to say that I was really grounded. I was immersed in this very fertile soil of Black self-love. And then growing up in a place called Detroit. Now, this is not the Detroit most people talk about now. I'm talking about the Detroit where everyone who wanted to work worked. It was a very vibrant middle class family. I saw it in and between our neighbors and the people that we socialized with. So it was everywhere. It was just a very loving environment. And so as I grew older, studied our people, learned more about us, I just, fell in love with who
Mhm.
Black people are.
Mhm.
I mean, I just fell in love. I remember being in high school, learning about Black Wall Street, what we call Black Wall Street now. This is high school. So I'm like, whoa, what
Mhm.
kind of people are we to
Mhm.
do these kind of extra? Because of course it bumped up against the narrative that was common about not having access to this or not being able to do that. And I'm like, oh, them some lies. And I
Mhm.
was so enamored with following this trail of Black self-love, one about Black folks, I decided that this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. So that's
Mhm.
what I've studied, at
Mhm.
all levels. I've just, and the more I come to know about Black people, the more in love I am. I
Yeah.
mean, like, I really do mean like the kind of love where you in slow motion, in the field of daisies, where you just run because you just okay. Oh my God, I adore who we are because
Mhm.
I know who we are. And so
Mhm.
knowing that and how it acts as fuel in my own life, I say it is a fuel that can give momentum to us across the board.
Got it. One of the things your love of Black people also shows up for people who are on our mailing list. We send out monthly the Blacknificent newsletter, which is your product and which you work on every month. And that newsletter is in fact, we get a lot of credit for it. People call us up and say it's a great newsletter. And we have to tell them, no, one guy did that. But that's just another reflection, I think, of the love that you have for Black people. And I just think it goes throughout that newsletter. So I think it verifies what you're saying. Here, though, Wangaza, the newsletter is one thing. Black self-love. And can you work a definition so that we all, as we proceed, so that we're all on the same page? Can you give us a working definition of how you define Black self-love? What are we talking about?
You know how we define it in this context, in the context of Blacknificent Life's Education Center, and the context of the course, the digital course that we've created. We think about and know Black self-love to be a manner of self-love. It's a variety of self-love that renders people who identify as Black just authentically attracted to ourselves, to themselves, experiencing, like feeling the love and manifesting, you showing the love, deep respect, regard, and endearment
Mm,
for ourselves and for others who identify as Black.
mm, mm, mm.
So it's a two-way, it's a two-way street, it's two sides of a coin. This the Black self-love that we're referencing tonight and beyond has to do with you seeing yourself, adoring yourself, and adoring folks that look like you.
Mm,
Yeah, like that.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really, I think, a valuable distinction. We're not talking about Black self-love in a singular sense about me. We're talking about me, and we're talking about those who I'm surrounded by, my community, my world. I just I won't go in, I won't go on. I'm gonna let you go on. But look, so you distinguish this. You distinguish, you've got a working definition, and you have to distinguish things so that you can see them, so that you can examine them, so that you can know them better, so you can be closer to them. So I got that you distinguished it. But you also went on that. So I give you credit for distinguishing Black self-love. And one of the things I'm going to ask people on this call to do is go out and see if you can find other definitions of Black self-love, because it's real interesting. It's very easy to find definitions of self-love. It's very, a number of people have definitions of Black self-love, but what I think, Mwangaza, I hold high for you is how you've carved this out and distinguished this as Black self-love. Look, but you not only distinguished it, you not only did the newsletter. What I am impressed with, and what you're going to talk about in a very few minutes, is how your decision to put this on the web and make it accessible globally to people to strengthen themselves, to strengthen their families, to strengthen the communities. I'm just curious how you do that. Okay. I mean, I don't mean this in a negative way, but you are not the most technical person I've ever met. You are not a computer nerd.
True.
So, where did the dream come from of putting this on the web? And how did you do that? Because every time I've talked with you, I've just found it challenging. And you keep going on, girl, until the time you've launched.
Well, this is 2025. I started this work about 4 years ago, I think. It's been about 4 years. And there are so many tools available to us. And so, the whole idea, again, this is like playing in the background of my mind all of my life. What do we need to know or do? Who do we need to be to live free and full of joy and generate what we as a community need? How do we get folks that's on our back off our backs? How do we stand up inside of ourselves and do what is being required of us? And so with that question on in the back of my mind, it's like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute, look at these tools. Look at what's available. Look at how, social media, I didn't grow up with social media. This social media thing is a thing. It's a real thing, and it does give access, as does digital media. So I wanted to use and access what appears, in my estimation, in this moment, to be some of the best ways to reach each other, some of the most efficient ways to reach each other and to teach each other and to engage. Look at us on Zoom, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do this to make the connection,
Mm-hmm.
and the question became, well, why wouldn't I use it? And
Got it.
listen, I'm gonna tell you, it's been a rough climb. It's been a rough climb because I again was not born in this. I wasn't raised up in this, and there's definitely a learning curve. And I know this is just between me and you, Paul. Y'all don't have to worry. Listen, just I would say to the sister, I was like, girl, you got a PhD. Okay, you can learn this.
Got it. Got it.
So it was kind
Got
of like that. It was kind of
got
like
it.
just it was really persistence. Just, and of course, having great coaching, great partnerships, great expertise standing with me.
Hmm.
So even the silliest or the simplest question that I may pose, I got an answer and it could move me forward. I mean, I really used to run from it. I'd be like, don't, I'm not getting no Google Doc. Don't, I ain't doing none of that. Just email the thing to me. And slowly, one step at a time, recognizing that who would I be if there's a mechanism available to me that I don't access
Hmm.
to connect with my people? What would that say about me?
Hmm.
So yes, it's probably been the most difficult part about this. The content comes, but the hookup and what is the best hookup? What is the complementary hookup? How do you get, two different platforms to talk to each other? All that is new to me.
Hmm.
And I'm beginning to enjoy learning, just beginning. Yeah, but we getting there.
So, Wangaza, I wanted to make sure we had that discussion because many of the people on this call, um, they're not computer nerds either. They have visions, they have ideas, and they have a hope for our community. And I just thought some discussion about how you went from the idea to the web was important. I know that you took time with almost every challenge, and you were fortunate to have people around you. And when you didn't have them around you, you reached out and figured out who could help you. I just think what you're doing on what you've done on that side and what you're still doing on that side is a model for us all. Like we don't have to be stopped by not knowing how to set things up on the web, for example. We don't have to be stopped by that. We have to keep moving forward and we have to do our integration. And I just wanted to get that in as encouragement, as an acknowledgement of what you've done and as encouragement to other folks.
And,
What,
Paul, this is real. This is tied back into that self-love again. It's like I know who our people are. I know what we've done. I have a sense of what we've done. There's so much more that I don't know, but I know enough about my people to know that okay, if you think about some of our great ancestors and you think about some of the many things that they've done, whether more contemporary, or
Mhm,
Harriet Tubman, or you want to think about Hatshepsut, our
mhm,
ancient ancestor. Either way, it's like, hold on, you can't learn this in all the directions, YouTube University, everything is set out there for you, and they did all that they did. No, I'm an African woman. And so
mhm.
inside that identity, I do what I have to do. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Well, guys, that sets us up for a perfect segue into the demo part of this, where you get to demonstrate how your distinction of Black self-love works and how it works, particularly on the web. So I'm going to move out of the way, let you and Stephanie work into those beautiful slides that you've got. And I'm going to keep my mouth shut until you finish up. Okay.
All right, glad to do it, Paul.
All right. I'm going to be on mute, but of course I'm here. Okay.
Okay,
The
great.
floor is yours, my dear.
Okay, all right. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to have this opportunity to just be with us and to talk about what I think is just an important topic. It's very simple, but it's also very, very powerful. It's a very powerful launching pad for us to look into ourselves and see more of ourselves. And so this is a pleasure to be here and to have this interactive evening with Black Classic Press. Next slide. And so your invitation this not tonight is to a systemic personal empowerment opportunity. Systemic in that there are steps taken to accomplish anything. When we order our steps, anticipate our steps, plan our steps, we are more likely to get to the end of those steps with the outcome intended. And so this will be a systemic invitation. I'm sorry, an invitation to systemic personal empowerment. And what I'd like you to consider in this time that we're going to spend together um, is that you may be experiencing an opportunity to grow, to personal development. Tonight, I invite you to just consider integrating simple habits, consciousness, thought patterns into your life that affirm who you are as Black. And I invite you to focus on Black self-love that deeply energizes and restores your spirit. In so doing, fortify your belief in your own Black self. That's the point. All right. And so to do this, in order to do this, I want to start next slide on acknowledging those who have contributed to this. You know, it's nothing that's important is done, I would say, unless we identify that we ain't do it by ourselves, because nothing that we do is by ourselves. And so before we jump into the exchange that honors who we are as people of African descent and the great that we are, let me just publicly give thanks to some of those who came before me and paved a principled, a hardworking, a courageous, high achievement path for me to follow. And so those on the left side of the slide are ancestors, great thinkers, scholars, whose minds helped to shape my own, right? Asa Hilliard and Doc Ben and Dr. Clark, and there's so many others. Dolphin and Elmira Michael, my parents, my mom and my dad, really helped to make me who I am. And I'm so grateful. And then there are those on the right side of our screen, Haki Matabuti, Aikwe Ama, Dr. T.J. Davis, Dr. Deborah Newman Ham. Lord have mercy, got me out that PhD program. Bless your heart. I just want to say thank you to both our ancestors and those who are still walking with us, because without them, none of this would be. I'm eternally grateful. And know that they represent a legacy of so many. Couldn't possibly name everybody, but together, if it were not for them, we wouldn't be here today. Next slide. And so the invitation, next slide. And so the invitation, slide 4. The invitation, again, is for us to step fully into the wonder that you are as a person of African descent, not the person that you are becoming, but the person you already are, right? It is my intention to make this invitation into the conscious practice of Black self-love so inviting, so juicy, just so irresistible, that you want to step fully into that self-loving kind of mind that compels you to be more of the person that you are. Right, that's the invitation. So hold on to that if you would. Hold on to that if you would. Next slide, please. This is an invitation to step fully into a variety of Black self-love. As we said earlier, this is our working definition. To step into a definition of Black self-love that allows you to express a manner of self-love that renders people who identify as Black really attracted to themselves. I mean, like, how many of you in our circle this evening, like, put it in the chat. How many of you really adore yourself as Black? Just put out like me, right? And this is the point of it all. We want you to experience and manifest deep respect for yourself, deep regard and endearment, right, for others who are wearing the same jersey as you. I'm just saying. This Black self-love that we're talking about is not about the individual person. It's about both I and we, right? Feeling the love for ourselves and each other. This variety of Black self-love requires both. And by the way, when we're talking about Black self-love, please know that this variety is not a declaration of being better than anybody. It's not a matter of saying that we're greater than, as in having the authority uh, to reign over anybody because we think we're better. We already know too well how that variety of what I call self-indulgent, uh, that crazy. We know what that leaves us. So not that. This ain't that, right? This is endearment for ourselves and others who identify as Black, period. Next slide. And so, why is this important? Why do we even have a conversation about this? Like we do, because self-perception largely determines the quality of your life. I'm gonna repeat that. Self-perception largely determines the quality of your life. Like, and social scientists, psychiatrists, sociologists have long agreed on this. You know, they talk about identity, and how it's such a powerful force in your life. Well, you know, perceiving yourself as smart, beautiful, and able is not simply a nicety, right? Perceptions that are good to have, um, it's not like it's good to have potato pie on Sunday. You know, like, okay, if Sunday passed and you don't have it, you'll be okay. Self-love is essential to your health and well-being because it largely determines, again, how you govern you. It plays a role in everything you do, in each decision that you make, and the ones you refuse to make, right? Consciously and subconsciously, how you perceive yourself, right? It governs your decisions and then your behavior. So that's why we're going to spend time on it. That's why I wanted to look more deeply into this notion of Black self-love, because I say it's a key element uh, to our well-being. Next slide. And especially because we live in a world trained not to see Black beauty, power, and genius, because we live in this world, not the state, not the country. We live in a world where toxic and malicious engineering of who Black folks are have cast the word Black, the color Black, the notion Black, and most of its representations to be inferior, to be lesser than the makings of a slave. Okay, because loving yourself as that Black person comes with a steeper hill to climb. And so we want to make sure that we emphasize and we orient ourselves to move forward inside this world that has us being reflected in the negative. And so this slide talks about how, and I'm just going to talk just about the influence of media for a minute. Just media, just like how in this culture, in the United States and Western culture generally, in the media, particularly in those places rooted in capitalism, there's an orientation that prioritizes making money with little regard for nurturing healthy self-regard. And so the media leans in the direction of projecting narratives that cause all of us, all people, to feel incomplete, to feel insufficient, and therefore in need of whatever the media is selling, right? Um, it makes for an easy population to manipulate. It makes for dependency, right? Because the media says that we're looking on the outside because we're not enough. Now that's the general conditioning for everybody. And the manipulation of media towards this end it's widely researched. These are just some of the citations, just a few that evidence the demeaning conditioning directed at the general population, everybody. All right. And now in the next slide, we get to see a few of the citations, references for media that's designed specifically to demean and denigrate Black people. And I know this is not news for anybody within earshot that's on this Zoom gathering. We know that in the media, the crime-ridden gangster, the prison life and drugs, right? Now it's often the only or the major way in which we're seeing, certainly far too often, the invention and so-called proliferation of gangster rap, right? That casts men and women into beast-like, just like sexual raging characters with explicit directions to listeners to know how to become that beast. I mean, that's what they tell you in this. I don't know if you listen to some of that rap music, but it can be very foul. All right, it can be instructive, and then we wonder why our children, our young people, and old people act the way they do. That's another conversation. But here's a sample. It's a small sample because the studies that have evidenced the large volume and impact of the media and other pillars in society. It's extensive. This is a body of literature that's expansive and it's old, not to mention, what occurs through the educational process, right? Or the some of the other social venues. The point here is to highlight that there's a steady and there's a relentless self-destructive attack on Black value, on Black regard, and reasons why Black people should not love themselves, right? The research is robust, and much of the systemic assault is not even noticed. Not really, it's not talked about. I don't know when we had the last conference. I don't know, more importantly, perhaps when we had the last intervention. And perhaps the greatest covert assault on understanding and embracing, adoring what there is to love about being Black. Perhaps the most insidious means by which we are taught not to love ourselves is the English language itself. Next slide. I don't know if you are familiar, because I know some of you are, this is a gathering of great readers here. Next slide, please. I know that in 1961, at the National Conference of Black Writers and Artists, need that next slide, dear. Yes, thank you. In 1961, at the National Conference of Black Writers and Artists, R.C. Davis gave a speech called "The English Language is My Enemy." And he talked in that speech about how whiteness had 134 synonyms, 44 of which are favorable. Blackness had 120 synonyms, 60 of which were unfavorable, right? And underneath that is a quote. He says in his speech that one must use words in order to think it all. Now think with me for a moment. All of us speak English, right? We use these words. You will appreciate the enormous heritage of racial prejudgment that lies in wait for any child born into the English language. And this language, as a medium of a communication, teaches Black children 60 ways to despise him or herself, and the white child 60 ways to love himself, okay? To aid and abet in the crime of disliking Black folks and to love himself. And so when speaking the English language, he says, I cannot conceive of myself as a Black man without at the same time debasing myself. Okay, that's 1961. And this was a speech that was later published in Freedom Ways and a host of other publications. But when I read this again, 70s, maybe 74, right? Because I remember the class where this was introduced to me too. I got that to actually appreciate who I am and to love who I am, it takes an effort. So when you're thinking about Black self-love, think about something that you're giving yourself, that you're orienting yourself to move you out of a rut you may not even know that you're in. It's insidious like that, particularly if you're speaking the English language. Next slide, please. And so the process is to remember who you really are, right? Considering the many and the sordid ways in which Black people are systemically conditioned not to love ourselves. Understanding that high self-regard is a baseline of a baseline marker of well-being, and knowing that what you think of yourself largely governs your life, that means that cultivating Black self-love is imperative. simply to stay in the game, to stay in the game of life, simply to be healthy. Having a consistent means by which you value and demonstrate your value of yourself, right? A consistent way that your worth is evidence, that your brilliance is illuminated. This is what Black self-love, oriented to that, reminds you that you are a gift to this world, right? Maybe the different between a life well lived and one that's really squandered. All right, so yeah, you are a gift. Next slide. You are a gift, and I want to remind you of that tonight, because remembering that, remembering that may sound like a small thing, but it tills the soil for the being receptive to notions of Black self-love, right? You're an absolute divine iteration of God by whatever name you call him or her. In fact, remembering that you are made from the best is one of the keys to creating Black self-love. So remembering and recalling, reconceptualizing your worth, it's fundamental to authentically embracing Black self-love. It's like knowing that the best is what you are made from. Now, and we're not just talking words. We're not saying pretty things just, to entertain ourselves at night. When we think about it, let's think about it biologically. Of the 200 to 300 million sperm released to fertilize your mother's egg, to bring you into being, it was the strongest, it was the fastest, it was the most healthy and hardy sperm that hit that jackpot, right? And against great odds, against all that competition, the sperm that caused your existence was a champion by any interpretation of what a champion is or what a champion does. You made a champion, okay? And that one egg from which you were conceived, it had to be healthy. It had to be released on time, and in complete harmony, in flow with the divine cycle of life. So clearly, you are constructed of the best, the very best, right? Remember how good and precious and wonderfully constructed you are. Like the high quality nature of who you are. It's just a fact. And when you know that, when you remember that, it's just so much to love. As beautifully Black as you are, and beware of the battles that have been fought and won on your behalf in order for you to exist in this world. It was a battle, not just of the swimming of the sperm to fertilize the egg, but beyond your biological construction. Remember the spirit of so many who have poured into you. Yeah, remember the countless number of actual people who sacrifice and will themselves to keep climbing, to keep living, to survive in order for you to be in this world. It was the strongest of Black folks. Let's not get it twisted. It was the strongest mentally, physically, and spiritually that survived who produced you. You. And no matter the conditions under which you were born, and though sometimes it may appear to not have been ideal conditions that got you here, right? You are here. And so, in at least those two ways, as a miraculous outcome of a conception and as a manifestation of ancestral visions and prayers, you are a gift to this world. You are made from the best. Hold on to that. Wake up to that every day. Remember that. Go to sleep understanding that. This is what we're talking about. And so, in our estimation, to ground yourself in the Black self-love and the remembering of how great you are, next slide, we want to make sure that you get that Africana history, right? If you want time-tested evidence of the gifts and greatness of people of African descent, right? That you can see over and over again, just turn to our history. And I'm talking about not the abbreviated, the omitted, the revised, and heavily redacted history that we're told is our record of the past, but the fuller, the complete, the more accurate interpretation of who Black people are in the world. When you begin to consider loving yourself, it's like that was me. It's like I read this history, I'm like, wait, hold up. Somebody lied. And I like the truth found in history. It gives you a grounding in our long legacy of extraordinary creation. And it allows for the cultivation of a factual relationship to the truth. Like discovering, unveiling, there is literally so much to love about being Black. Next slide. And when we consider Africana history, we know we always must include ancient Kemet. We must include, next slide, please, ancient Kemet. We have to make sure that we don't start, as Dr. Clark and others have taught us over and over again, you don't start your history with enslavement. You start among our ancients. And even before ancient Kemet, you start with the Nubians of the South, who gave the ancient Kemets the cultural context that allowed them to be as great as they became, right? And then you go on and you have to include, next slide, Marunage history. I love this. That's the history of so-called Maroons, people who, in the face of enslavement, in the face of captivity, these are the people who said, and excuse me for a minute, because y'all know I don't cuss, I'm a grandmother, but they said, hell no, we will not be slaves. And there's a whole genre of history that covers, that explains, that gives to us the history of the people who said, we won't do this. And we left, we walked off, we ran off, we hid, we went to the hills, we went to the swamps. We made a way literally out of nowhere and established not, just small communities oftentimes, but Quilombo dos Famales is one of my favorite histories and reference points. Folks who were free for 92 years. We're not talking about 100, we ain't talking about 1,000. We're talking about 20,000 people is the estimate, who established a whole doggone state. Anyway, I won't go deeper than that. I simply am saying that we have to know this to understand that whatever we think we're up against now, whatever we're looking at now, whatever you're looking at tomorrow, whatever you're looking at in your family, when you have historical grounding, you know you're going to keep climbing because you were made to climb. Your legs are steady. Next slide. And so all of this, recovering that history, is actually addressing amnesia. And remember that amnesia is a diagnosis. It's like studying your history, grounding yourself in Black self-love. It's not something that is just a nicety. If we will be well, we must do those things. And so there's all kinds of amnesia. Different parts of the brain are impacted. It manifests itself in different ways. And our partial amnesia, I say, manifests itself in different ways. But my point here of this slide is to know that this is not something that you might do or may not do. If you're going to get over, if we will move past this diagnosis, we include the study of our history, particularly as we move towards a self-loving people. Next slide, please. And so in that recovery, know that there's one aspect of amnesia that you want to make sure you don't do. These are common symptoms, and confabulation is where the brain invents false memories to fill in memory gaps. This is what the brain actually does. And so the false memories, I say there are many false memories that have been situated so that we could adopt them and make them part of our memory. Like what folks say about Black folks that just ain't true, the negative stuff. Next slide. All right. And so with all that in mind, I decided, as Paul and I began talking about a little earlier, I decided to create the course, the Black Self-Love course, to address exactly what we have been talking about for the last 15, 20 minutes. Next slide, please. I wanted to create a systemic way in which to remind us of why and how to love being Black. And so I'd like to just take about 10 more minutes to tell you about this course, and how you can activate it as a tool for cultivating Black self-love in your life. So it's a digital course. It's comprised of 4 modules, 12 lessons, and each lesson begins with a video that introduces research-based information and practices for building thought skills and applying Black self-love. And the video instruction is followed by, like, once you watch it, you will have at least one, and oftentimes you'll have multiple learning exercises that follow that are created to reinforce the lesson topic. And so in module 1, we talk about the function of Black self-love, the imperative, and the advantages of melanin. So in module 1, basically, we're looking at the meaning and value of Black self-love. This is a favorite module because it really sets a foundation, kind of like some of what I've covered this evening. Like, this is something not for play. Okay, this is something to really have you be at your best, have you be well. And so my favorite lesson in this module, if I might have one, is the third lesson that talks about the melanin advantages. I actually walk folks through many advantages of melanin. Many of you on this call may know, most of us don't know, okay, including how melanin is being used in the marketplace. There are companies who create vision wear, specialty glasses for pilots, specialty glasses for race car drivers that have melanin infused in the lens. Yeah, it's a real thing because, darker eyes see better. Melanin in your eyes gives you better sight. So there's a lot of things about melanin that we just don't know, but it is overall a physiological advantage. And so we talk about the gift of melanin in module 1, lesson 2. Let's go to the next slide. In module 2, we look at the power of taking Black self-love action. So here we focus on the doing. And I like to remind us that, like, when you are in love with someone, whether it's your child or your mother, or it's a romantic love. But let's talk about romantic love for a minute. Like, when you met that boo, right? You can remember when you met that person, you can say that you love them over and over and over again, or they can say, let's say they love you, right? And their actions are not consistent with those words. Not going very far. Not much is going to come from that. Same thing with Black self-love. You can say, and I've had people say, I don't need a course. I got Black self-love. And then they take the course and they say, whoa, I thought I had it. But it requires action. And so this course in module 2 helps us to get in action. What do you do every day? What do you say to yourself, right? I think my favorite lesson in module 2 is history, because it does some of the things that I spoke of a little earlier about focusing on great historic events. And then the third lesson looks at those newsletters that Paul referenced. There's, over the course of the last 5 years, I have accumulated a database of articles that just point to all the wonderful things Black folks are doing in the world. And so in module 2, you get to walk through some of that. Next slide. In module number 3, next slide, we talk about cultivating a Black self-love mindset. Now we're getting in the nitty-gritty of it. Like, how do you take the theory, the knowledge, and you begin to actually cultivate a Black self-love state of consciousness? It begins with a meditation that you will get to download somewhere, computer, on phone, so that you have that and you can lean into it. The meditation to remind you when you need it to be reminded. Maybe you're about to have an interview or a difficult conversation or something where you need to be your best. Well, that meditation is going to pump you up in that way. We talk about a number of things, a number of ways in which you can create a Black self-love friendly environment. We actually do that in the course with you. And then we put a number of these actions together to create a daily ritual, a real quick 5 minutes, something that you do that just gets your mind right. That's what occurs in module 3 as we begin to apply these tools of Black self-love. And in the next slide, we talk about module 4, the last module, cultivating a Black self-love practice. How do we do this every day, right? How do we do this every day, not just because, but how do we take that momentum of Black self-love and get it behind a goal in our lives? A goal in our lives. Now we're talking about betterment. So in module 4, we ask that you identify one something that you want to be better at, that you want to improve, that you want as a goal in your life. Maybe it's to drink one more bottle of water a day. Maybe it's to finally write that book. Maybe it's to have that difficult conversation. Whatever it is, we walk you through in module 4 how to use the momentum of your self-love, like who you really are, as fuel to get you over that finish line. And then we track your progress because again, the goal is to apply Black self-love. And so in module 4, that's what we do. We track your progress and we know that wherever you did, it's good because it can be feedback for you. Okay, hopefully you get past the line. But that's just our overview of the course itself. Next slide, please. This is a course that is $297, right? We go through a whole process of its valuation in the longer masterclass. This is just a shortened variety. So it's a $297 purchase. You get it, you get access to it, you get to keep it, it's yours, but there are other things that come with it. You get a monthly live teaching and coaching event. That is, we come together, and this may be the most valuable part of the course beyond the modules and the lessons themselves. We get to come together. And on the platform that I use, it's a private platform. You only coming together with people who bought the course. And so once a month, we get to review course content. We get to add course content. We get to have guest presenters all around Black self-love. So we can come together and support each other, give greater understanding and value of the course, be coached if there's that kind of support that would be useful. And we also, inside the 297 purchase, have a exclusive online platform, our virtual village, right? Again, only people who purchased the course can access it. And that's something, it works pretty much like Facebook, where you can post and you can share your progress, you can ask questions, you can huddle with people in that way. So that is the offer, that is the product. Next slide, please. Now, next slide, please. So the power of loving yourself as Black. These are all, I'm going to move through this pretty quickly. These are the kinds of questions that are asked, right? Because we want you to have specific outcome. Want to release self-doubt and embrace your great identity. That's what we want you to do. Next slide. We talk about how you could reconnect with your identity as a source of strength. Oftentimes it's like, we don't want to be Black, not really, not out loud, because, and then you can fill in the blank, but this is a source of strength. So doing so helps us to heal from the negative cultural conditioning and overall just build a more loving and a liberating relationship with yourself. Next slide, please. And then finally, we want to celebrate you every day. We want to nurture your mind, your body, and your spirit. And again, prepare you to step into a more empowered version of who you are. Next slide. This is self-development, okay? Know that it is, you get a downloadable app. Most of these things I've already spoken to. You get immediate access to the course. Some courses they have what they call drip access. You have to do it in a particular order. You have to do it in a particular time frame. That's not the case. This is self-paced. You do it as you want to do it in terms of the space and time. And please know that if for some reason, some ungodly reason that we just cannot imagine, that you don't like this course once you get up in there, if you don't like it, no problem. 7 days, let us go. And there's an immediate refund. And by the way, those live sessions that we do each month, if you're not able to be there for the live engagement, we record it and we make sure that you have it. Next slide. And so if you're interested in making the purchase or you want to learn more, we've got a special link for you that's going to take you to Keys to Black Self-Love. And I'm sure if it's not already in the chat, it will be shortly. And this is what you get. If you're interested in purchasing, all you have to do is to use the link that's in the chat to access your free on-demand masterclass. If you want to hear more, see more, there's an hour and 40-minute masterclass that you can access anytime you want at no charge, okay? In the masterclass, it gives more in-depth information about Black self-love, and at the end of it, it makes this same offer, but in with much greater detail. If you're ready to purchase, just again, go to the link that's in the chat, and you will find a section of that page that allows you to go directly to the purchase cart and access this digital course for your own. And then thirdly, on this same page, you can learn more about the affiliate revenue share opportunity. And that is an opportunity. Well, let's go to the next slide and let's get into that. Next slide. Let's talk about the exciting affiliate revenue opportunity that comes with this course. Now, listen to me very carefully. If you are a member of a church and you want to raise money, if you're a member of a sorority or fraternity and you got a special program you want to fund, if you have a book club, if you have an athletic club, if your grandson is participating in something, if you have a charter school, if you have any organization that serves the well-being of Black people, I want you to listen very carefully because we've crafted this just for you. This is a fundraiser. Basically, this is how you use the Black Self-Love digital course that I just explained and walked us through, how you can use that to raise funds for your group. And at the same time, offer your group personal self-development. Because remember, the course is just giving you more of yourself, unveiling the great that you are as Black. And so with this group, you can provide them the opportunity, your people, to grow, right? To inspire higher achievement, to affirm that we are more than enough. You can use your own group's mission, right? If you got something specific that you're working towards, do you remember the 4th module where you get behind a betterment goal? You can craft this whole course to get behind your mission. You got a capital campaign going on, whatever it is, this can be tailor fitted to your group's goals. All right. And so inside of that, all you do is this. To raise money for your group, you purchase the Keys to Creating Black Self-Love course, and we're going to do something unprecedented here tonight. The idea is that you get a generous commission, and we got a whole scale of three-tier scale that determines your commission. Well, for this audience, for this group, for this Black Classic Press Village, go to the next slide, please. We're going to make that available to you so that you can earn $100 per course, more than a third. You Purchase the course, you earn $100. As simple as that. If you got something that you're doing for Black folks, you can double it up. Do the course for Black folks. And when each of your constituents, each of your members purchase the course for $297, we will give you $100 back. As simple as that. Simple as that. Because we want this course for us, for you. And so making us better from the inside and building our financial base is the point. Now, this is offered to you through 2025. That is by December 31st. If this is something that you're interested in, if you tired of selling popcorn and chocolate, I love chocolate and popcorn, but I'm just saying there are many ways, okay? Here is an exclusive funnel that don't involve nobody but you and we. All right. Ain't nobody else up in our business. No third parties you got to order stuff from. You know what I'm saying? We just do this, you and I. An exclusive way in which Black folks can pull ourselves together, organize our funds in such a way that we get better on the inside while we make and generate fundraising for the organizations that we love. Again, that is available through December 31st of this year. So about 3 more weeks here, we're gonna make this offer. Then we're gonna go back to the old 3-tier way like that. Next slide, please. And so we're winding down here. We're almost done. How do you become an affiliate partner? You go to that same location that is using the link that's in the chat. You go to Keys to Black Self-Love using again, the link that's in the chat. You do a couple of things to become an affiliate. Just give me a call. On that page, you'll follow the directions for finding out more on how to become an affiliate. And you will have an opportunity to simply schedule a Calendly call with me. Just get on a call. We'll do 30 minutes. It don't even take that long. It's not that deep. You purchase a course yourself. You complete the application and agreement. All of this can happen literally in 10 minutes or less. Okay. And then you're in. And what you get, this is what blows the mind for Mwangaza. What you get, this is already built into that platform. This is why I do the digital platform. We're going to give you a email messaging that you can use for your constituents, your members, the people in your group. Like when you introduce this opportunity to them to purchase the core, we've already laid out some initial email messaging that you can use. So you can go in that Google Doc, you adjust it as you like, but you ain't starting from scratch. We are with you. All right. We got graphics that we've generated for you. You want to put this announcement in your newsletter, in your church bulletin, in your email communication. We have images that you can just cut and paste, making it real easy. And now this is the kicker. You get a dashboard. You get an administrative hub where you can see in real time each time someone makes a purchase. So you can track who's purchasing, when they purchasing, and therefore how much you are generating for your fundraiser. And in this particular setup, you get a payout every 30 days, just like that. So you can have a 30-day goal for, you might say to your people, listen, we need to generate $10,000 every month, or $2,000 in every month, or $50,000 by February, your choice. But we are here to work with you. We are here to not just sell the course, because that ain't even the intent or the energy, but to be with you in our common process of getting better from the inside out. All right. So again, if you're interested in becoming an affiliate, use that link in the chat to take you to that page. And this is where the journey begins. This is where your money begins too. I'm just saying. All right. So
Hey,
next. Yeah.
Mwangaza, I wanna jump in here really quickly.
Okay. Okay. Jump in.
Cause you were laying down some stuff, as they say, I'm picking up what you laying down, right? Like I got it.
Okay.
But do you wanna play with somebody? Like, do you want somebody in this group to come on the screen with you where you can have a conversation about what this could look like. Like I'm getting all of the stuff. Like, okay, I'm beautiful, big lips are good, and big hips go with it, right? I got it all. But tell me what this conversation looks like. Do you want to play? If any, is that, are we open to that? To somebody having a conversation with you right now?
Just listen, if you absolutely, let's come. Let's
All
come.
right. So anybody who would like to, I'm gonna ask you all to raise your hand. Look, yeah, somebody who wants to raise their hand. There's a tool to do that because most of y'all got your cameras off. So we can. Aloma, Mark, and Aloma has hung in there the whole time. She had her camera on. Guess what, Aloma? You are about to come on screen right now. So let me add you, and there you go. She's been there the whole time. I've been watching her. You got your mic on? Let me see. Make sure that she is. Yep, she is on. She is up. All right. Mwangaza. You now have a Loma with you. And then I see Sharon. So if we have time, we'll get Sharon to come on right after that. Sharon Bynum. All right.
Hey there, Loma. How are you,
Hi,
darling?
Mwangaza. How are you doing? I'm doing well.
I know Aloma. So now what you got for me? What do you have something for me, or would you like to initiate, you'd like me to initiate this exchange?
I'd like you to initiate it.
Oh, honey, well, let me ask you this. When was the last time um you consciously engaged in this idea of Black self-love? Anytime recently?
Yes, I have anybody who knows me, and I have your phone number, your mobile number. Several times a day, you will get texts from me about Black achievement that you probably didn't know, I didn't know. And I know that just in the finding out of this information, I have been healed in ways that I didn't know I was wounded.
The Black self-love information?
Yes, just things we have invented that have been erased from history, names that have been erased. I mean, the spectrum of what we have done is absolutely phenomenal. And I just texted out, put it on Facebook, all over the place.
That is so wonderful.
And I noticed that I am well, I am more increasingly healed, and
Oh,
I didn't know I was wounded in some ways.
amen. What is it? Give me one thing, big or small, up to you. One goal, one area of your life, one something you want to achieve that you haven't just got to that point yet. Maybe it's, I don't know, health concerns, whatever it might be, something that you've been working on, thinking about, maybe something even you forgot because you don't think it's possible. Like that. We can go deep like that if you like. Okay.
Well, a couple things come to mind.
Pick one. Give me one thing. Let's,
Well, writing some articles on
okay.
um, spirituality, and it would be Black well-being and spirituality, my spirituality, Christian spirituality in general, and getting them published somewhere.
Getting them published.
Yes,
Okay, great. Have you written them?
I've written one and working on the second.
Okay, so is the effort, the initial effort to get them written?
Yes, that would be helpful.
Okay, great. So, how about we make that a Black self-love betterment goal for you?
Okay.
How about we just do that? Okay, we have tagged it as that. When is the best time for you to do that in the course of your day? You know your schedule, I do not. When is the best
Mhm.
for you to put that in your schedule?
The evenings,
What time?
at least 8 o'clock ish.
To
Between
start
eight,
writing?
yes,
Mine works well at 8 o'clock to start writing.
yes.
Ooh, praises to you, girl. Praises. Okay, great. So why haven't you done that up to this date? Not that it's not going to happen tomorrow. I just want to be clear about what's the obstacle.
Well, I have done it sporadically, but it hasn't been consistently enough. It's um, when I look underneath it all, I really do think I have a conversation going on, doubting my own worth. What I have to say is worthwhile. I think when I just brush it all, the debris away, I think that's it.
So do this for me. Those of you in the chat, can you put a one in the chat if having additional information about the wonder that we are, about the greatness that we are, having another article in the world that we can share among and between ourselves. Tell me if that would be useful to you only by putting a one in the chat. If it's not going to be useful, don't put it in. But if it will be useful, you take 1 second, because that's all it's going to take, maybe 10. Put it in the chat and let Aloma see these ones. Let Aloma see literally those people who need what you got, those
Ooh,
people who are waiting for you to deliver, those
Mm.
people who are wishing and perhaps even praying that they had one more something they could read, one more tool they could go to, one more place that they know got their back because it's affirming who they are. And just, I encourage you, simply watch those ones in the chat. Okay, I ain't gotta say nothing. The
Yeah,
chat.
I'm looking at them.
Okay, all right. They telling you. You see that?
Yes, they are.
Okay,
Wait, uh-oh, waiting for you, sis. Okay.
waiting for you, sis. Okay.
All right.
All right. So now we know each other. So we're gonna follow up. I'm gonna follow up. We may or may not do this again on this platform, but you and I gonna have that conversation. And I thank you again. In our definition of Black self-love, it's not just you. You are not here by yourself. These people, our people, we people need one another. And I so thank those of you who indicated that, demonstrated that in your response in the chat with your ones. We are number one. Thank you, Aloma.
You're welcome. And thank you all so much.
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right, I'm going to bring Sharon in. And first of all, thank you for that because, I don't know how Aloma was feeling, but it was like you could see the energy. And I know you could, Wangaza, because you got 12 senses about you, but you could see her saying, when you were like, well, what's stopping you? And I literally watched her head drop. Like her head was dropping.
Yes.
And you started saying, well, what's getting in the way? And you think it's time. And when she started to say, you know what? I don't know that it's, the worthiness, like that came up as a conversation. And then she started to come up again. And
Yes.
that's what I think, like that simple conversation to me was that just that quick, right? Like I get it. Like the worthiness of the conversation, the worthiness of who she is in the world, and the worthiness of who she is as a Black person in the world. So I'm gonna bring in Sharon and
Okay.
let's just see how this one goes. Sharon, you are on now. Hello.
Hey, Sharon.
Hi, everyone. Good to be here.
What you got, girl? You want me to get this party started or you got something?
I got something for you.
I
So
sus-
I actually had the grand opportunity to do her pre-course, and that was very wonderful and very great. And as she shared those mentors that helped her be the introduction to supporting in Black self-love and learning about who we really are, not his history, is you mentioned Asa Hillier. So Asa Hillier was my knock knock opened the door to my first introduction to real Black history. I was in college. My boyfriend was at Stanford and he was speaking at Stanford. And he did a 3-hour presentation on stolen legacy. And then in addition to that, when I transferred to San Francisco State from San Jose State, my Black Studies class was taught by Dr. King, who I understand wrote on melanin. And the book we were studying was Stolen Legacy. So that just kept, it just immersed me
yes.
into, who we are, our legacy way back before. And so also I see we have Tony Broder on here.
All
That
right,
was a
all right, all right, Sharon, get to your stuff. I know we got people on here. We get your history, get to your stuff.
okay.
What you
So
got to
because of
say?
learning his from his book, all those things supported me in white corporate America, growing up in a school environment that's all white. And I'm a Black professional, so I would just go back. Hey, look, we're the first computer scientists. They still building stuff on what we did. We're the first this. We're the first that, and that left me empowered.
Yeah.
That gave me the strength to go through I mean, blatant racism where they have meetings and they don't even tell you, right? You find out afterwards, right? And even to this day, in the Trump era where it's just blatant, yeah, let's erase all of our stuff. It empowers me to see so many other cultures who are awakening and seeing who we are and discovering like Aloma will post some certain things like she said and discover like, oh, I didn't know that about our history and you know our wealth, and empowers me to be able to address when people say, well, blacks didn't do this, blacks didn't. Nah, you need to open up the book to this league. You need to see this, because if we weren't around,
Yeah. So
y'all
Sharon,
wouldn't have nothing.
Sharon, you are a testimony, baby. I hear you. We hear you. I appreciate your testimony because you have absolutely talked about how the notion of Black self-love has empowered your life. And so I appreciate you offering and sharing in the particular ways that it has, in the particular ways that it fortifies you in your experience in life. So thank you for your testimony. Very, very powerful. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Yeah,
You're welcome, and thank you for sharing this so that more people have access. Because that's one of the things I saw is that people didn't have access, or like in my family, they didn't want to have access. They were so glued to the
Yeah,
way Master wants it
yeah, yeah.
that they can't cross the line.
And because we're in the season, thank you for that, Sharon. Because we're in the sweet season of giving, this is a possibility of a gift for a family. So thank you again for reminding us of that. How are we doing on time? I just had a moment to look at these chats and I'm just enlivened. I'm just enlivened by what my people are saying. This Aubrey Flowers, that's my cousin, y'all. You know I got to do a little something. He just says, Black self-love has made me a person of character and integrity. Hold on, partner. Because I want to live up to the standards that my ancestors have established. I mean, it's just some of these I'm going to have to copy these. You go to techie part of me again. I'm going to have to get copies of this because these are affirmations that have a lot of weight and carry a lot of a lot of love. Thank you for this information. I'm encouraged. This is Celilian Green. She says she's encouraged because you have reinforced ideas in one of my poems entitled "I Am Perfectly Black." Oh, you know, I'm gonna find your poem. Please know that I'm gonna find. I could go on and on, but I want to be, very
I know.
conscious of our time together now.
It's one more thing. So we had somebody register, and we all know her, right? Churl Waters. But I want to come on because Churl jumped on it in a minute. I need to ask you, Churl, to come to unmute and just share or talk with us about what had you push that button. And first of all, I love seeing you again because I haven't seen you in so long.
Hello?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. She there and now she gone. There she goes. You good, Cheryl? Talk to us.
See you. Yeah, we
So,
just
um, I am absolutely thrilled to be here. I am thrilled to hear Mwangaza. It's something that I couldn't miss. I've done like a lot of self-development and personal development courses, which I know you already know, and this is different. I'm sending it out to my girlfriends, I'm sending it out to my sisters, and I am just absolutely thrilled and just glad to be here. Um, do you have any questions for me, or do you want to work with me or do anything?
I always want to work with a Cheryl Waters. What are you talking about, girl? But yeah, can you hear me? You're putting your ear like can't like it's hard to hear.
Because something is happening with my hold on one second. Hello?
We can hear you. We can hear.
Okay, good. Now I can hear you. Cool. Can
Okay,
you see me now?
I can see you
Yes.
wonderfully.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm blessed. But yeah, I have to tell you this. First of all, it's good to see you, Cheryl. It always is a pleasure. And
Thank
I thought about you, quite frankly. Talk about manifesting, because I thought about your wonderful scholarship program.
hmm
And so I thought about how, I met your mother. I met her. There's been an occasion where, and I know what you set up to stand behind her and magnify her, you and your sisters. And
Mhm.
so your presence here simply affirms that for me. And I would love to work with you uh, if there is an opportunity to raise funds that honor your mother using this particular course. Because I think I've been in some of those spaces with you where we did self-development
Mhm.
together. Yeah, so I think it honors who you are as a proponent of self-development. Like, with the new design ready. There's lots I could say. I'll just stop there. There's a very well-known best-selling author who is so much that because of much of what you and Paul did together. So yeah.
Mm. I have to I I'm just overwhelmed. I'm just so appreciative. Um I would appreciate whatever, and I will definitely share it. I really don't. I want to make sure that you're successful. I've registered for the course. I'm hoping that other people will register for the course now, right now.
Mhm.
And I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Okay. I just I just saw in the chat really earlier. I was like, I saw congratulations, Churl. I'm going, what did Churl do? What did Churl do? It's like Churl registered. So I was like, oh, so we got to talk about that. And I
That's
want to say this too, and I'm gonna do this because we've had a lot of women coming up. And I agree with Churl. We both have done some of the same work on ourselves. And this one seems like is rooted in who we are, which is
right.
a
That's right.
very
Mhm.
different concept, very different than what other people offer you, and so that's important. But I want to see, because I'm gonna see, I would like one of our male friends on the call, and it can be Paul or it can be somebody else who maybe is here. But I'm gonna say this: when Mwangaza first introduced the course to Black Classic Press, and Paul, I know I'm kind of carrying this thing here, so you can say, Nat, cut it, and I'll cut it. But when he first introduced this and the possibility of having you talk to folks who were on our email list and things like that, he was like, ooh, he was like, Nat, this is different. This is different. And so what I would really like to hear um, is from one of our guys. Oh, we got somebody on here. Darius Young. Is that who's on here? Darius Young? I see a name. People sending me names. And so I'm gonna ask for Paul to say something about what
Mhm.
he saw. And then if we've got another guy on the call, just to talk about
Gonna
what you're hearing, what you're seeing, or what's up with that.
That was me
Yeah.
calling out Darius Young. My apologies, sir. I just thought that you had a wonderful, you offered your definition of Black self-love earlier, and I didn't know if you would like to participate or offer some response to that
Sure.
earlier in the conversation. But feel free to step in, Paul, at any moment. We would love to see some addition. This is wonderful, by the way, Mwangaza. If you have the energy to keep it up, I say let's keep going.
We could do this till midnight, but we're not
No,
tonight.
no.
Yeah. So I don't know if you had Darius
I can
speaking
bring him
or
on there. Let me add
okay, if
him
you
on
want to
there.
go
Let
ahead,
me.
I can follow.
Okay.
So you wanted to know about what I reflected on about self-love, what I put. So for me, self-love for me has been a long journey. And I would say, when I came to understand and realize there was a time in my life when I stopped loving who I was at a very, very young age. And because of it, it led me to crisis, years in the California Department of Corrections, and and to the point to where as when I got older, and I'm not shy about saying it, because my life has taken me very far in the last 10 years. I paroled from like a seven from a 20-year prison sentence in like 2012. And at that time, all I knew is that when I stepped out of that dungeon, I had a new profound reckoning of who I was as a man. Because at one point, what led me to my demise is I began to question, what did it mean to be Black? That was in the 80s. I was having doors slammed in my face. I didn't know what, and it was this fear, this innate fear of being Black. And when I came to understand and realize, once I found myself, and I would say that it was reading. I just got a chance to visit with Mr. Coates. That was my dream. I would just happen to be in Maryland, and I said, I'm gonna call. I'm gonna go to Black Classic Press. I want to meet this man. I have been, because he sent me some books. I read Anthony Browder's books, and I say all this to say that when I began to understand who I was as a person, it has led me in my older age to places where I never thought that I would be a part of. And so I'd say that it's irrespective of what my career is. It's irrespective of what I think I should be doing. And the highest order of my love is just looking in that mirror every day and understanding that the all created me to be all that the all wanted me to be. And if I just follow the path of what I understand as that cosmic energy, it leads me to places and spaces where I have these opportunities to project love out to others. And I would say, one of the things that I do during the day is I always catch the bus, right? But I catch the bus and I wear these shirts and these hoodies just to attract conversation with young people. One of them says, I'm unapologetically Black. And I have young people staring and asking. So we began to talk. And that's my one thing that I began to do. So I do stuff like that. And then the last thing I would say is that every day, I'm not satisfied with who I am today, because I know that I need to keep growing and growing and love myself more and more every day. I look in the mirror and I want to be better each day. So I would just say that.
Darius, can I
Yeah.
ask you a question?
Yes.
What's the one thing you'd like to be better at? You say you want to be better every day. What's the one thing you want to be better at? Tomorrow. Hold on. Tomorrow.
So when I wake up tomorrow, the one thing that I want to be better at is when I get into a room with people that I think are like more professional than I am, to not hold back my thoughts and be able to just say, you know what, this is how we should be doing it, because I'm an expert by life and not an expert by Western education. And I would say that because sometimes I hold back, and people tell me you shouldn't hold back. Say you should have said that when you're in that room, and it would have made a difference.
So Darius, do you know the next room you'll be in of that sort?
Yes, I do. I will be in a room on Wednesday, and I will be in the Sacramento meeting with a group from our California Legislative Black Caucus. And it would be for me to tell them that we have failed miserably on putting out strong reparations bills and legislation that will help change the landscape and the metrics of our people. And so I would just say that. And I was inspired to do that simply because I just came from the symposium, the fifth symposium for the First Repair Network, and it was and I know this is something that I have to do because everybody looks to California for reparations now, and I've had an opportunity to be a part of that, and our lawmakers need to step up and bring something that's going to be of value to our people, and not.
Do you have what it is they need to bring forward? Have you taken the time to think through and write down a phrase, a paragraph that explains, perhaps even an essay that explains how we turn failed miserably into success?
As a matter of fact, I've been working on that most of the day. I've been working on that. As a matter of fact, on my plane ride home from Evanston, Illinois to California, yesterday I began working on that because I know that is important for what is now a world revolution of which I have become a part of.
Well, this is great. And so I just heard in your speaking an opportunity to not to say what is so for you, how there has been miserable failure in one aspect, and at the same time, your Black self-loving self step up and not only say what ain't, but what should be, what could be. As a matter of fact, if you need some information, here it is in front of me, because that's how Black self-loving men roll, right? And there's an opportunity, I say, you look and see for yourself, for you to incorporate the power that Black self-love can play in tilling the ground in preparations for reparations, like creating opportunities for Black people to love themselves, so we don't go straight from the giving to the cashing of the check and throwing it away.
Right.
So thank you so much for sharing this. Now you're gonna do this, right?
I'm going to do it.
You better raise your right hand. No, I'm just kidding.
I raise my right hand to that, because this is in what needs to be accomplished is tearing down these old systems, these systemic systems that keep mothers and
That's right.
mothers and grandmothers crying because their sons are getting murdered in the streets and they're ending up in the penitentiaries. And this has to do with the lack of educational opportunities, the lack of jobs, the lack of quality schools, and the lack of being able to teach, history, not starting at 1619, but starting at 18,000 BC. And when that stuff captures you, that's what Dr. Jawanza Kajufu, the ancestor, used to say. We need to be starting at and so we have an opportunity to to craft these type of systemic changes. And these are the things that are going to root us and bring us into this new future that we're in. So I would just say that.
So in the name of Black self-love, Doris, thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
number one, for showing up here today. Thank you for loving yourself enough to be in the forefront of seeing changes, making changes, facilitating changes that allow our people to actually exist in this world in a more equitable way. Thank you for being brave enough to raise your right hand. I saw it. They didn't see it, but I saw you swear inside of your soul that you're gonna be in that room powerfully, powerfully. And you're gonna say what it is. I say you have been assigned to deliver. This is a part of your gift. And perhaps you went through whatever you went through to get to understanding better the gift that you are to this world, and that you are manifesting in the work that you're doing for the state of California on our behalf. So thank you. Thank you from my heart to yours, from our heart to yours. Y'all put them hearts in the chat. Let this man feel that love. Just put that heart in the chat and send the love, the Black self-love, our collective love to this Black man as he stands up inside of himself, inside that room, to manifest the great that he already is. Thank you, Darius.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I just want to segue for a minute and then come back, Mwangaza. So people who know Black Classic Press really, really know that Black Classic Press began with the thought of reaching people like Darius. And I didn't understand it until he started talking, Mwangaza. I didn't understand until Darius started talking that what our concept was this. It was Black self-love. It wasn't distinguished as that, though, in 1972. It was distinguished as a prison program in which we would use books to reach people in jail and birth a new man. Have those new men come into the community, and women come into the community and rebirth our community. And that's what that brother does. He did write me from jail just before he was getting out, and he told me that he was going to be dedicated working in the community, and that's what that brother does. That's what and he wrote me specifically for some books that he paid for, okay, that he paid for. And he told me about the books he had read. That's the person who we wanted to reach in Black Classic Press. And we still do reach those people. It's just that we ended up with a larger mission, but it's inside of what you're talking about, Mwangaza. I never distinguished that until this conversation. So I'm glad he went before me to talk about his experience. This brother went to jail, hard up, went to jail, spent enough time in jail to break any of us, and came out just dead set on rebuilding our community with his energy, his living the life, his life. Like when he
Yes.
says he takes a bus and he wears a shirt with something on, that's it.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
it.
Yes. Yes.
So thank you again, brother. Thank you so much. Well, guys, this is, I know our time is running down, but we still got at least 15 minutes before we hit our clock here. But this is the part that I want to get to. This whole energy of Black self-love that you've distinguished, this whole platform that you've built, the people you've reached out to, and the people who are helping you get this done. And I know you're going to talk about John before we get off, and I'm going to shout that out too. John Thomas is your main go-to guy, and he's been with you, working on this. You guys are not doing this for money. You have been challenged for money the whole time that you've done this. I know this because we talk. You have built and dealt with your own resources to get this far. And the reason why I'm pointing this out, the reason why I'm dealing with this one, guys, is because one, I think the distinction of Black self-love is great. That's wonderful. But also, I think your working and your commitment is a model for all of us to look at and realize that you're accomplishing this because you believe in us and because you have Black self-love for us and yourself, and you see us as this community. What what do you need at this point? What do you want at this point to achieve more success, to get your message across? How can we and I know you went through registration and things like that for different program, the affiliate thing. What is it that we can do to help you? What is it that someone on this call,
Mm.
one person, like Charles just came on, what is it that we can do to help you?
Well,
Because as we help you, we're going to help ourselves, Mwangaza.
yeah, yeah. Spread the word in a nutshell, because the bottom line is this. The bottom line is that this effort works. This course can change lives, transforms our people. We get to see and be more in love with ourselves when we participate in the process. And whether that's you purchasing a course individually, because then you're going to have, on your phone or on your computer 24/7, 365, that Darius can have that meditation to listen to before he walks into that room. It gives you a toolbox to carry with you at all times.
Mhm.
So it's getting the word out. It's like, there, and I know you can't make me believe otherwise. When we sit and we think about it, there are people on this call, in our circle this evening, that know people who can move this course into schools. This is a course that is very appropriate for children ninth grade through so for the high school level. Okay, so move it. People who will use their connections, who will use their influence, who will use their energy to move the course forward. There are places. I know there's teachers on here, or folks who know teachers. I know there's somebody, hear me now, who knows Governor Westmore. Okay, I know there are people here who can connect in ways that will move this course exponentially. And so I ask us each to just look and see in our own lives how we can be to one another who we already are, right? How this all ends depends on who we are to one another.
Mhm.
I know there are people for which this course, it could be an enormous blessing, who can raise some big bucks and who have been trying to figure out how to do that. And so I would just ask us to really pause and really pray and really ask for the guidance in your own space, in your own world, in your own bubble, for how you can be a contribution to get the word out and facilitate, generate the disbursement of this course as sales and as fundraisers for our people. That's it, Paul. That's it, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you. Nat, do we have other folks? You have other questions for folks? Because I got one more one, guys. One of the things, and Nat, if you do, you can cut across me or shorten it or do whatever. But one, guys, one of the things that I still am very excited about the course is the possibility of using it, particularly fathers, mothers, using this course inside their own family.
Yes.
Bringing their family, using it as a tool to shape Black self-love inside the family. Can you talk about that? Are you having any experiences with that at this point?
I haven't had feedback regarding how the course itself was used inside a family, like, creating a family event around it, which is certainly would be wonderful to do that. What I have gotten feedback um, from is a person who was in our beta group who talked about how, because this is a person who is very dedicated to family, right? How they experience the course not simply as something that could help them in one, two, three, four ways, but actually how it can help their children. And so she began like posting some of we have mantras, we have affirmations. She began posting some of them around the house. That was her way of spreading it amongst the family and generating conversations about it. She just took some of the course content and placed it strategically to make sure people in her family, people that she loved, would have it, and would have the benefit, and then generate that kind of exchange within the family. So yeah, and I've also had the feedback where one gentleman talked about how it forced him to be confronted with his own greatness, and how that's something that he chose to share with his brothers. So, we've gotten feedback in that way. And we're looking forward to the feedback to come in terms of how this course is plopped in front of your children and your cousins and your people, and just generate the conversation. Just, like click on the video about the power of melanin, or the power, how Black self-love is both fuel and shield in our lives, fuel and armor. And watch, just it's an amazing thing to just watch. I mean, we know how brilliant we are. So when we give our people an opportunity, an opening to step into and express ourselves in a loving empowerment and loving environment, where you got the popcorn or the pizza or the salad, folks, it becomes a wonderful, wonderful experience to share.
Got it. Thank you. How we doing, Nat?
We're good. We don't have any additional questions at this time.
Okay.
So, we are getting there. I put a note over there saying, now's the time to look at this. People
I,
off this.
I
Go
have
ahead.
another minute, then I can ask another question.
Yes, you may.
Okay. Guys, I want to flip up a little bit. I want to call John Thomas in here. Can we put him on?
Yep. Let me get him. Let me get him in here really quickly.
So one of the things that I had the pleasure of doing the beta course with Mwangaza, and John Thomas brought a story that I still laugh at, where he talks about, and I don't know how good you are with this now, man. So I'm putting you on the spot.
I know, right?
So look, I'm glad you're highlighting John Thomas for all of you.
Mwangaza, can you set it up, please?
Listen, I will. John Thomas is the person who's been walking with me. This is the tech genius, the one whose shoulder I lean on to figure this tech, don't make me cuss, stuff out. Okay. So I'm so glad that to have you present you, John, to our audience this evening. And I think the story that Paul is pointing to is how, like, we are thinking through aspects of the course content. And when I shared one content idea with John, he took it on for himself. And that has to do with module 3 or 4, where you begin to use the momentum of Black self-love to get behind something that you want for your life. So John, tell the people what you wanted for your life and how that
I'm gonna just get you for this, Paul, but thank you for acknowledging that, and I'm glad you remembered it. So everybody, I'm John Thomas, and back when we were still looking at the content of the course, there's a section, I believe it's in module number 4, the betterment goal. And Mwangaza asked me, what's one thing that you could do in your betterment goal? And I just, full transparency, I was drinking a lot of beer at the time, not because of the course. I was just drinking a lot of beer at the time and smoking. And, so I said to Wangaza, well, I'm going to drink one less. I'm just going to drink one less. And I attempted to drink one less, and it didn't work. So somewhere in the process, I said, well, instead of drinking one less, if I don't drink one at all, then I won't drink two. So I did that. I didn't drink one. And that was like, I think maybe November, somewhere in there. I didn't drink one. And then I noticed when I didn't drink one, I didn't want one. I also noticed when I didn't drink one, I didn't smoke as much. And through this and some other things that was happening in my life, I ended up not drinking at all. And so for like maybe 3, almost 4 years now, I haven't drank any beer. I haven't drank anything. I don't smoke any longer. Right? And the thing that I got, like in addition to getting Black self-love, like I love being a Black man, I got that the way I was treating my body, this was also an opportunity to express Black self-love. Right? Like that one betterment goal, that one thing was a way to express Black self-love in my life. And of course, now, I've been on the road ever since on this journey. So thanks for bringing that up. And just let y'all know, some of y'all, I keep forgetting if it's left brain or right brain, but whatever the analytical brain side of it, it works on us too. Okay, just want you to know.
That's great, John. Thank you for sharing.
And now I done put all my business out on the internet.
Listen. But it's a good business.
It's good business.
Good business. And it's so exemplary of how this works, particularly with us, particularly in community, particularly when we are talking to one another and supporting each other through our process. I say we don't know what's possible. And we will know as soon as we get behind each other and we have these kinds of conversations as regular, not like an event, but every day.
Yep.
That is what awaits us. So thank you for sharing that, John. Thank you. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you. I'm good. Nat and Mwangaza, is there anything that you want to say to wrap up and take us out? Nat, we covered everything. I don't want to be preempting.
No, we are good. I think this is with perfect timing, and so, let's top this off.
Well, let me just thank you. Let me thank just first of all, God Almighty for bringing us all together, our ancestors and all from the spirit realm who have caused us to be here. Thank you, Paul. And Paul, just so you know, you are the epitome of Black self-love. You live your life. You live your life generating who we are to one another, how it is that you take your affirming understanding of Black people and you made it available for the world through your publications. So thank you for spreading Black self-love in the way that you do every single day. I thank your team, Natalie and Stephanie and Roz and other folks who I may not know. I'm just so grateful to have an opportunity to be here with you. I'm grateful that you opened your doors to have this conversation. And I'm just looking forward to more Black self-love up the road. I'll just say it that way. So thank you. And thanks to everyone who showed up. I hope that you found value in this. And again, I hope that you'll see yourselves to use that link and come on over in the Black self-love family. We're having a great time over here in Blacknificent Life.
Got it. Thank you, Mwangaza, as always. And thank you for your tremendous support of me, of Black Classic Press. You guys may not know this. John, you think I put you out there. I'm getting ready to put sis out there. You know, this sister has been my listening post for decades. Okay. And it's usually when things are not going all that well, because that's when we reach out to people. We don't spend a lot of time reaching out to people when things are going well, but when things are not going well, this sister has been one of the people. Fortunately, I'm in a community of people that hold me up. And she is one of the pillars that has helped me up all these years. And I appreciate you so much and love you so much, sister. And like Cheryl, I just want the world to get this one, you know? And so we'll keep working on it, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Mwangaza.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. At this time, we are complete. And there's been places in the chat for you to connect with Mwangaza. So please do your last look over there. Get that link, click on it now, do something so that you have it saved. We will be sending this out. And so even if you need to go back to the email where you first saw, like find a way to get to it if you leave here and there's something that you need to ask. So we are about to wrap. I'm going to ask our host team to stay on the line. Everyone else, y'all are starting to drop off. Y'all can go ahead and drop off. We're just going to debrief. And for those of you all who are a little stubborn, we're going to put you in the waiting room and we're not letting you back in. So,
and Mwangaza and John, will you stay on, please?
yes. So thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Have a